60 miles per hour, 1.3 seconds. That's okay. The all-wheel drive cars, 0 to 60 in 1.1 seconds. And that's amazing right there. His name is Norris Prayoonto from P Racing. We're here at Maryland International Raceways for the 24th Haltech World Cup Finals. This is my 24th year here also. I've been to every single one of them. I think me and Jason Miller is probably the only people that have been to every single one of them. Here with my full team this weekend, 6 cars competing in 4 categories, 1 in all motor, 2 in 2 street, 1 in super street, and 2 in wild street. So normally here at World Cup Finals we enter in 3 categories. This year we tried to stretch our legs a little bit and go to 4 categories. We actually have 1 Outlaw all-motor car in True Street, which should be going to the mid 8-second range. This particular car behind me right here usually runs in the Super Street category. We reduced the turbo size to 67mm to be able to compete in the True Street category also, so you can come home with that money. In all-wheel drive, with our all-wheel drive car, we're competing in the Wild Street category. Both cars are identical, so we call them the twins. One is the SuperTech all-wheel drive car, the other one is the Tao Sport all-wheel drive car. Both cars have the 76mm Garrett turbo, the Prayoonto Racing 2.1 liter long block with Brian Crower BC crankshaft and rotating assembly, JE pistons, Prayoonto Racing CNC ported head, Graph gearboxes transmission with the PB billet housing, drive shaft shop axles front and rear with the drive shaft, carbon drive shafts, both powered by Multec M800 ECU, and that's about it. Both running ethanol fuel. Both all-wheel drive cars are tuned by me personally. They make about, on a dyno, 900 to 1,000 horsepower. We're only pushing half the boost that we're pushing on the track. At the track, we're running about 70 psi. If I had to guess, maybe 1,500 horsepower. Mid 7-second passes, 190 mile an hour. Outlaw Motor has been really popular this year. Outlaw Motor is basically run what you brung, no minimum weights, no fuel restrictions, no engine displacement. The best guy out there with the best engine. The records has been changing hands 4 or 5 times this year. First 8-second pass Outlaw Motor was back in April. We went 892 in May. We had the record for a few months, and then one of our competitors had the records after that. So we definitely like the competition of this particular class. You know, we're not restricted with anything like the other regular all-motor class, so that's why we call it Outlaw All-Motor. And this year, Outlaw All-Motor is actually introduced into one of the turbo classes called True Street. So the Outlaw All-Motor class will be able to run against True Street cars and some domestics. So it's gonna be a great fight. The car that we'll be running in Outlaw Motor this year is the Drive Shaft Shop All-Motor Civic. Drive Shaft Shop has been with us for probably 10, 15 years. Title sponsor for 12 years. They've been a big supporter of us for many years. That particular engine is a 2.7 liter Prayoonto long block with Kinsler ITBs, FIC injectors. Everything's pretty much custom made. Graph 5-speed gearbox, big tire, no limits. Run what you brung, a lot of nitro, flames coming out of the hood, import style. So we'll see what happens with that car. So the Outlaw Drive Shaft Shop Civic all-motor car revs about 11,000 RPMs, 5 gears, 160 mile an hour in the quarter, all motor, 0 to 60 mile per hour, 1.3 seconds. That's okay. The all-wheel drive cars, 0 to 60 at 1.1 second. And that's amazing right there. All-wheel drive cars are gonna throw you back in the seat right away, and then you're gonna hit that 190 mile an hour very top. All motor cars a little bit slower, but still you got 5 gears to bang through, which comes really fast. So definitely both the best worlds right there. My career has probably started about 25 years ago. Met a group of guys that are messing with their cars at their houses on the weekends, and went to hang out with them. Went to a lot of car shows, base-offs, street races. You know, I just got out of high school, in college, so you know, we did a lot of hanging out at night. Well, the hanging out at night ended up being at the street races. So basically, we went from the streets to the racetrack. My first import race here was actually in '96 here at MIR. It was the first import shootout ever. We ran all motor, did pretty well. And after then, you know, it just kind of progressed. We built our first pro stock tube chassis car in 2000. My girlfriend at the time, which now is my wife, started racing also in the bracket classes, female classes. She slowly advanced from 15 seconds to now running low 9-second passes. So, you know, my career has pretty much progressed from a 1-car team to a 2-car team with my wife, now to a 6-car team as a professional. This is not a hobby of ours, this is our job. This is what we do every single day. We promote our sponsors. You know, we sell engine packages at the shop that we use in our cars. So it's definitely not a hobby, it's definitely professional for us, and we're happy to be here. Name is Robert Reinen. I drive the Fuel Injector Clinic True Street Civic. Racing True Street for the first time at World Cup Finals. It's a K-Series, 2.2 liter long block, Prayoonto Racing, everything. We use Brian Crowder crankshafts, a 92 stroke crankshaft. It has JE pistons, GRP rods. Yeah, so in the cylinder head, it's one of our Prayoonto Racing cylinder heads, but it uses all SuperTech parts. We use a 6.6 millimeter thick stem Inconel exhaust valves, and then just the regular stainless intake valves and the 100-pound springs and the titanium retainers and CNC locks. We have our stage 4 camshafts. It has a 6785 precision next gen turbo. The car is running a Tile V60 wastegate. No blow-off valve. A lot of people ask that question. We don't run up blow-off valves. So yeah, the fab work on the car, recently we did a 25.5 cage. That was done by one of our guys named Andrew. The complete turbo kit was done in-house by one of our good fabricators named Vicente. We've done pretty much everything in-house. The turbo kit has a KLM intercooler that they hooked me up on. Yeah, we did the intercooler piping, the roll cage, and all the turbo components in-house. Has a Graph 4-speed transmission. It uses 8 Fuel Injector Clinic 1650cc injectors, a Weldon 2345 pump, Bellic 13x11 front wheels. It's on C85 fuel. On the dyno, we're only able to take it to like high 900s. It made 978 horsepower at 32 pounds of boost. Going down the track, it makes about 55 pounds of boost. So estimated, 1200 plus horsepower. All right, so the boost on the car is controlled by a Tile V60 wastegate. We launched the car around 15 pounds of boost at 7,800 RPMs. And then in second gear, it makes in the 40s on a good track. And then third and fourth is usually just everything we could throw at it. So it makes about 55 PSI. Yeah, so it has a Clutch Masters clutch. It has Drive Shaft Shop Pro Level axles with the Wave Track Pro Level diff to go with the axles. The car's running an M150 Motec ECU that I tuned myself. I've had a lot of help with Vitali at Motec in North Carolina. The car's running the newly released North America drag racing M1 firmware that we developed on my car. So this year with the newly released turbos, I had sold my Gen 2 72mm turbo and decided to try out the 67 for this race only, to race in the True Street class, because we have one of the top competitor cars in that class already, and my goal is to qualify top 5. I'd like to go A2 or faster. So yeah, people that follow me on social media might know that the car has gone through a lot of progression in the last 10 years or so. Actually more. I've had the car since 2007. At first, the car's Midori green under the wrap, so it's popular with a lot of people. It's a 96 OEM color. It started out as a stock K28 Type R, stock K28 trans. Then it had cams, made like 240 horsepower. I drove that setup for about 5 years, and finally it dropped a valve, beating on it. And then it was a piston and rod K24 that made a little over 300. It's a 12.5-to-1 setup on the street. And then around that time, when I wanted to start going faster, that's when I started getting in with Norris, and we talked about doing, an all-motor drag setup, and that's when I got my first 102-stroke engine. Went 10.1, starting out, then I got it to 9.8, 9.6, 9.5, and then about 1 year ago today is when I first, raced the car turbo for the first time, and we got it down to 8.33 with the turbo setup last year. So the goal for this weekend would be to beat last year's time. All right, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors. My main sponsor, Fuel Injector Clinic. Can say a million good things about them. We got Drive Shaft Shop axles, the Prayoonto Racing, for the engine, at Bellic wheels, Hasport mounts, Vitali at Motec for all the help, Clutch Masters, SuperTech, big help.